Right, hello. I'm just going to do a little thing on my Sako S20. I've had it for a while now and banged off a few rounds and getting used to it, so I didn't want to really just stick something on video just so that, you know, because I've got this. But yeah, here it goes. Sako S20, right. Very different to what anything Sako's done before. I've had Model 75 and the Model 85 actions in the past, both in 243. I did like the 75 very much. The 85 I felt was a little bit short, but I did manage to extend the stock on that, which, you know, is not a great shakes doing that. But this rifle is very different. It's got this hybrid polymer stock, and it's got a, I believe, an aluminium chassis all the way through the inside of the action. When you pick the rifle up, it is surprisingly heavy, heavier than I anticipated, but that's not a problem to me. It's got a nice rubberized buttstock there. I've had to put some extension stock spacers in, Sako's own ones obviously, to extend my length of pull just that little bit. Obviously they come with two, the rifle comes with two, but I had to buy two more to extend it because I'm just a bit longer. It's got a adjustable cheek piece here that you can bring in and out. One thing you have to make sure you do is when you finish shooting or when you're working the rifle, if you want to take the bolt out to clean or whatever, this has to go back in, but you'll realise that. It's got a nice leather effect inlays on the pistol grip and the fore end here. That's very nice. I like that. I like the way they've done that rather than it being just smooth plastic, which I think, you know, obviously some people ain't going to bother with that if you're wearing gloves and things, but, you know, to me it's a nice little touch. It comes with a magazine that is different than anything Sako have done before and anything I've been used to in the past. Is a composite polymer thing. This magazine is ready for 243 Winchester, 6.5 Creedmoor and 308 Winchester. There has been some things mentioned about the magazine can be a little bit loose with some rounds, and it is supposed to be there ready for a variety, three varieties of caliber. So I've not had any problems with this. I know that Chris Parkin in his review he had problems with the bullet seating or the cartridge seating in there and working the action, but so far so good. I've not had any problems with that. The bolt is very different again from anything Sako have done before. You've got this I can't really think what that's called there, but that's the actual end there is different to what anything we've been used to before. Some people don't like it. I like it. It's one of those things, the rifle is different to what anything I've used before. It does take a bit of getting used to, but it's just a lovely rifle to shoot. You've got on here, as you can see, Sako say that these are a Picatinny rail, when really it's just front and rear Picatinny mounts. You can buy the Sako's own version of their Picatinny rail that you can bolt onto here, and then you would bolt their rings down on. I've chosen to go for the Boris XTR signature range. These are adjustable for elevation and windage using some what's the word for these again? I'll think of it, but landing rings. Sorry, took me a bit there to do that. You can have adjustability with these mounts up to 40 MOA. That's a long way. And with the scope I've got, the Night Force SHV 5. Sorry, got a frog in my throat. 5 to 20 by 56 Night Force scope on here. I don't think I'm going to run out of elevation for what I need it for. A friend of mine, Paul, I've mentioned it before, he's told me I think the scope and the mounts is probably good for about 1500 yards, which I am not going to be shooting, and if you ask him, I probably won't even hit nothing that far anyway. But yeah, we'll move to the front of the rifle. The barrel generously fluted with 6 flutes, and there's a nice recess under here for the free floating action, obviously, which is very good. Some rifles you don't have a lot of gap underneath, and some people have had to shim him before, but not with this rifle. The muzzle thread is 5x24 UNF thread size, and I'm using a Wildcat Evolution sound moderator. This deserves a review in itself, and so I'm not going to go too much into that. Just screw that one on there like that. I'll get that in there. Yeah, so let's go and bang off some rounds and see what its accuracy is like, or shall I say my accuracy, you know. So yeah, Sako S20 has Sako's bolt blocker system. Safety catch is on, bolt can't lift. By pushing this tab here, you can lift the bolt, and then with the safety catch still on, and then go for a safe unload. Sako give you a special little Allen key tool, which is great. Actually, I haven't got with me yet today, but you would use that to take this bolt off, and this will remove the rear hunter stock, and there are some bolts here either side here that you would use the same tool. The tool is great. It's all the bolts heads are the same size, so you don't need to be messing around with different screwdrivers or turn screws or whatever you want to use. It's great because the beauty of this rifle is that you can stick yourself another stock on, and for the price of, I think you're looking at 179 quid for the rear stock, and 290, which is the rear stock precision, and 294 for the fore end precision version. You're getting another rifle effectively for 400 or 500 quid, you know, which I think is great. It's such a modular rifle, and they have really well thought this one out this time. Not there was a problem with the other rifles, but I think it's great. It's a rifle that the more I use, the more I like it, and the barrel, even though it's new and I've only probably fired about 40 rounds through it, it is getting better and better the dirtier it gets. And every other rifle I've had before, I've cleaned it and you go to re-zero it and you're off, and that. This rifle is just bang on every time. It's just got a great barrel to it. Like I said, it's in 6.5 Creedmoor. It's my first Creedmoor. I've decided to join the Creedmoor fraternity. There's a few names people seem to call us now, but yeah, and I'm getting into it and getting used to the caliber. It's a great caliber. It just bucks the wind so very much. It was either that or a 270 or a 308, and as I said before, a friend of mine, Paul, who's got his Browning X-Bolt in 6.5 Creedmoor, swears by it, and so I thought I'd give it a go. And as I said earlier, the fore end has a generous scalping underneath for the free floating barrel, and it stops any of this barrel touching in the actual stock, which is great. You don't always get in some rifles. And it's fitted for standard QD stud to fit your Harris or whatever you want. My only thing with this is I know that you can buy another fore end, the precision version, and I'm kind of used to using Picatinny rails on the front, and so I can't use my Akitac on this, but I've bought an adapter from Akitac, which is not really much of a gripe or a problem, but I know most sporting rifles do have the QD stud, but it's probably only what I'm used to. For anybody else, it's not really a problem. Sako's trigger, it's adjustable from 2 to 4 pounds. I've got mine set on the lighter side. I've not actually measured what it is, but it's nice and crisp for me. You can adjust it through the magazine well, or you can take the stock off. I took the stock off and did it that way, but then I'm a moron and didn't realise you could do that. Yeah, another quality Sako trigger. No complaints with that at all. Okay, that's the mag bombed up. Holds 5 rounds very securely. As I said, I've not had any problems with these, and so far from using it, I've not had any either. So yeah, let's go and fire some rounds off and see how it groups. Okay, let's go. 3 rounds. Let's not waste too many, shall we? And yeah, gonna go and see what that group was like. It looked pretty good. My ideal zero is an inch high at 100 yards, 4 clicks depending on what your caliber is. And that Strelok's telling me I need to be 4 clicks high, which is about an inch. I can fine tune that in a minute, but yeah, let's go and see what the groups are like. Okay, let's have a look at these groups. Just pick the target up. Right, well, I didn't get my forgot to bring my tape measure today, but we'll use this tape measure. Well, that's 2 there, 1 a little bit high. First shot, second 2. That's pretty good for me. I think with a bit of time I could probably get in those groups a little bit tighter, but I'm pretty well impressed with that. That's way under sub MOA at 100 yards, which Sako guarantee out the factory, which you can't always get with factory ammunition, but you definitely can with the home loads. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to see if I can dig out my tape measure or something to see what this is, but then I'm going to validate that rifle. Probably put the target out to about 400 yards. It's most I'm going to get here, really. I know you're supposed to validate into transonic or whatever that is, but as far as you can go, I mean, the most I can get here is 450 yards, which thing is the wind's getting up, so I might not bother, but we'll see. All right. Okay, I just decided to do a bit of trajectory validation with the Kestrel. I do the Strelok as well because it's great for quick reference and something, but if you're sitting here and you've got all the time in the world to knock off a crow or someone at long range, or if you want to just shoot your gongs and stuff and you've got your Kestrel here, you can take your time with it. Real world is something's going to move or fly away in the time it's going to take you to do all this stuff I'm about to show you. So what you do is, this is what you're going to do to capture your environmentals anyway, and then I'm going to do my trajectory validation anyway. So all trajectory validation is with these apps like Strelok or Kestrel or whatever you're using. Obviously a computer is telling you based on what the muzzle velocity your pellet is doing, or slug or bullet or whatever you're using. So it's telling you what the curve's doing. All you're going to do when you trajectory validate is stick a target out longer than your zero range. With the high-powered rifle, generally you're supposed to be going into transonic, which is something stupid like 900 yards. Well, I haven't got 900 yards here. I've got down to the bottom there, so which is 429 yards. But what you do is all you're doing is putting real world data into your app and correcting the curve to match accordingly with the real curve. You know, you've got the computer's version of what's going on and then the real world what's going on. So, and that's the only way you really get a real good idea of what's going on and get for accuracy at long range. If you're shooting a couple hundred yards, it don't matter, but if you want to get out and hit stuff out further on, you're going to have to make sure your rifle is validated. So with the Kestrel, this is what you do is you press the center button here. You've already preloaded the profile from your Kestrel app, and it's telling you your ambient temperature. I've already spun this. You're supposed to get it. I can't do it like this with the way I'm filming this, but you spin your Kestrel. It will give you your ambient temperature. It will take all the environmentals like atmospheric pressure and all that stuff. So there it says 10 degrees Celsius, right? So obviously you can check that for Fahrenheit, whatever you want to do. Make sure that's pointing right. Press your setting button there like that, and you're going to get your direction of fire. So we're going down here, and then you need to capture your wind, which is this way, and it's quite good because you've got wind turbines there telling you which direction of wind here. So that's telling me you do that for about 10 seconds, say, and I don't think the camera's picking it up, but yeah, looking at about 4 miles an hour. And then you input your range, which I've done already, so yeah, 428. Press the center button again, and they're telling me 8.4 MOA. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to fire some rounds at that target down there. while I've applied 8.4 MOA of elevation to my scope, and then I'm going to drive down and measure what the actual impact is doing, the actual drop. If it is 8.4 MOA, happy days. If it's not, I adjust it and then I go back into the app and tell the app that it actually needs to go 33 clicks or 8.6 MOA or whatever, instead of what you're telling me, and then it corrects it and then you're away. So we'll just go and do that now. Okay, as suspected, it wasn't bang on. These things never are. Went down to the target. The range is 428 yards, and my Castro app told me it should be 8.3 MOA of elevation, which is about 33 clicks, and it's high, so I need to come down. So I decided to come down 3 clicks as I worked it out using the reticule bit on the Strelok just to see what it does. There's probably other ways, but I just did that just to see, just to come down 3 clicks and see where it lands. I'm going to give it another go here and see what happens. Okay, I just did the clicks, 3 clicks down instead of Strelok told me, and Castrol, I used both just to be sure, but they both told me 33 clicks, so I knocked off 3 clicks because it was high, and it's got me down to here, which is, well, there's my FX pellet tin, and that covers that up just fine. So that's what, 4 inches across, and that there is covering that up, so that's inside 4 inches at 427 yards, which is sub MOA, and I'm happy with that. Happy with Paul's home notes, and I'm happy with the Sako S20. So great, thanks for watching. I'm going to try and get out again when there's no wind. There was no wind this morning, but it's got right up. The Kestrel was saying it's averaging about 8 miles an hour, but with the Creedmoor, I'm aiming there and that's all it's blowing off, you know, and that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I think I could get better in time when I get more used to the rifle, and whatever you believe in the barrel being bedded in or not, I definitely think that that rifle barrel on that Sako is going to shoot more accurately the more rounds I put through it, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. Thank you.